Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So I want to talk some Giants today. The season begins in like a week. It's kind of crazy. Not even 5 days, but it's crazy to think. And I'm going to try to pump out content pretty consistently over the next week. I just kind of hit one of those content like bumps, focusing on work, things like that. But I want to talk about the offensive line, kind of like the theory behind it. Before we do that, I want to pay my respects to one of my favorite, Nakia Griffin Stewart, who got cut. I was really faithful in that guy. Maybe he'll come back, but he was cut from the practice squad to make room for some other guys. But I thought I like what I see from him. I just think our depth is actually pretty good on this team. Now, a lot of people keep on disrespecting us. I saw on Colin Cowherd's show, we were ranked like the 15th best team in the NFC, and the Eagles were ahead of us, according to like executives. I just want to wait, because last year a bunch of our Giants fans, we were like realistic. We're a 5 to 7 win team, new coach, pandemic, that type of thing. But this year, I think 8 wins is our floor. In my video I said 7 just to make it good. But you can see Daniel Jones not playing well. But do you realize how good of a roster we have? Do you realize the 15th we're barely better than the Lions? Yeah, sure. And still the odds aren't reflecting it. Maybe they know something I don't, but I just can't wait for all those freezing takes exposed type things. But I want to talk a little bit about the offensive line. I want to talk about kind of what I would do. Now, Nick Gates is apparently playing guard. Now, there's a video that I was watching, a podcast. I forgot what it was, but it was basically, I think, like the betting odds. Yeah, it was the sports betting thing I watch. If you have 3 or new offensive linemen, you are under your over-under more times than not. It's like 70% of the times, and 3 new offensive linemen. So let's take a look at it. 2019 into 2020, we basically had 1, maybe 2, you could say, because of Will Hernandez returning offensive lineman. We had a new center. And I also heard somebody say about center. Oh, no, not somebody. It was Aaron Rodgers. It's basically just block for me. But you have your ass has to be in the right spot, and you have to be smart. And that's kind of what we're all thinking about right now. So the main stage that you're going to have now, it's from 2020 to 2021. Andrew Thomas, Matt Parrott, do you count that? He was kind of starting at the end of the year, but it was kind of still Cam Fleming. It's kind of confusing to see who's starting. We obviously don't have Kevin Zeitler anymore, so that's one that's gone. And then we have Shane Lemieux returning, but that can easily be that guy, I think Brad Bredesen, whatever. I haven't talked about Giants in a while. It's like it feels like so long. I've just been listening. But, the offensive line theory for us, we're going to have 4 potentially new offensive linemen, and that's going to be a little bit rough for us. It's going to be a little bit rough. Now, I think Andrew Thomas, I mentioned, he's just getting overcoached. I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, that is kind of rough. Now, what I would do, I would kind of move Nick Gates to guard, because he's more of a guard than a center. I mean, he is kind of cerebral in that way, but he likes hitting guys. He's like moving. He likes running around. The ideal offensive line for me would just be a rotation of Gates, Bredesen at left, keep Will at right, have Andrew obviously left tackle, Billy Price at center, and then have that depth. Because we don't have Jonathan Harrison anymore. You have a little bit of depth at center already. I forgot who else we brought in. Segura. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, am I stupid? I'm like, we brought somebody else in. And then Parrott at right tackle, switch him in with Solder. And that's a good offensive line. People are like, we have the worst offensive line. Hopefully it's not the worst offensive line. We have pretty much all of our starters would be like from the 2019 draft. We have Bredesen, Thomas, Parrott. Gates is from like 2017 or 2018. Billy Price from 2018. So it's a young offensive line. We thought we were like really old. I'm glad we didn't have an old offensive line. I'm glad it's athletic. At least they'll gel together. And I'm glad that the Giants made some moves here. So as far as the roster, I'm not really surprised by that many moves. I just don't want Nate Ebner back on the team. But yeah, I'm just excited to see us play some football. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about Daniel Jones, because there's a question on Talking Giants, like, is Daniel Jones actually the guy? I don't know. But he has a great asset, his rookie contract. And I think he can still learn, develop, grow a little bit. And Jason Garrett last year, his main focus was cut the turnovers. Guess what Daniel Jones did? Cut the turnovers. Now we want to add the mix to the recipe. We want to add it. Peyton Manning, all of a sudden one day you had, what's his name? Tony Dungy, a Hall of Famer for some reason, but side note. But he said, Peyton, stop fumbling. You're costing us games. And then it clicked. It's kind of like sometimes when I'm forecasting, I don't know I'm doing something wrong. And then somebody points it out. Sometimes I know when I'm doing something wrong. I know we kind of like, oh, you should have done this. Why didn't you put that slide here? Because sometimes you kind of know and it's in your gut, but you still do it anyway for some weird reasons that are unexplainable. But Tony Dungy is like, Peyton, you're costing us games. Stop it. And there are obviously mechanical things you can do to stop turnovers, but it's a mindset. And Daniel Jones has that Peyton Manning mindset of being humble. And I think that's really gonna work out for the Giants. So Daniel Jones needs to cut the turnover. Now Sam Darnold, guys like that, Colin Cowherd is mentioning, like it's kind of a thing that they keep on. They have to make that play. Now there's sometimes I think Daniel Jones is always gonna have that. Dude, like what the hell was that? But do you know who also has that? Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has that. I mean, there's a play in the preseason where he tries to be like hero ball, but you have to know when to turn it on, turn it off, and it's a little bit of luck. You have to have the right coach, Andy Reid, put you in the right situations. So people are saying like Jason Garrett's kind of babying. I mentioned this in the other video. Jason Garrett's kind of babying Daniel Jones, but he's putting him in a position to succeed. And Jason Garrett knows what he's doing. He knows have those short routes. Any play that lasts longer than 3 seconds, Daniel Jones is not going to be successful. And that's why Jason Garrett has all these short concepts. So I think they could be a little bit longer, have guys running in that direction. But we have Tony. We have so many weapons. Like, people, it goes back to this. I really don't think people don't understand about how good our roster is. We are a top 10 roster in the league on paper. And I'll continue to say that until the cows come home. I have us ranked 14th in the league, but on paper, how much better, just remove quarterback, how much better are the Chiefs than us? How much better? Their offensive line is better. Honey Badger, I'll take Jabril Peppers with him. Xavier McKinney, Logan Ryan, I'll take them. Frank Clark, overrated defensive end. Leonard Williams is better than him. Chris Jones, I think he's pretty overrated from what his abilities, from what I've seen. And then linebackers, not even close. Again, the rest of the defensive line, not even close. And then Tyreek Hill, and that's all they have. Kelsey, Tyreek Hill and Kelsey is all they got. They don't have Sammy Watkins anymore, and they have guys that just underperform that get open because of scheme. So don't underrate the Giants. Kind of an end of tirade. I just want to say we have a top 10 roster, and the Chiefs are considered the best roster in the league. Put us up against any team. All that's missing for us is offensive line. I think if our offensive line gets to be top 15, people will be like, oh, wait, the Giants are actually good. And we talked about how we can make that good earlier in the video. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.